This podcast is a quest for well-being, a quest for a meaningful life through the exploration of fundamental truth. Enlightening ideas, insights on physical, mental, and spiritual health. The inspiration is love. The aspiration is to awaken new ways of thinking that can lead us to a new way of being well. Welcome to Body, Mind, and Soul Healing Conversations.
Happiness is easy to obtain when you decide what happy is. In his debut book, up-and-coming self-help fiction author Topher Pike has compiled 101 of his most awe-inspiring quotes to guide you on a path towards personal success. Don't wait for a storm to change your life. Create the storm that will change your life. In this short but powerful book, Topher dives into the heart of each quote and explains how to change your negative thinking, turn your passion into purpose, and live the life of your dreams. Darkness is not the absence of light. It's the absence of a purpose. Use these words to inspire a new chapter in your life and give birth to the person you know you can become. Valeria Tellez interviews Topher Pike, the author of 101 Quotes That Will Change Your Life. Topher Pike, aka Chris Pike, is a writer and poet from the Goulds, Newfoundland. In between his sales career and fatherhood, he has self-published 2 nonfiction books, this latest book, and Blackbird, and his third book, Reimagined Artist, which is his first book of fiction. After spending 13 years in Calgary, Alberta, and owning a successful decking company, Topher returned home to Newfoundland in 2016 with his wife to pursue his passion for writing and raise their 2 children. He holds a BBA from Memorial University and writes 2 books a year, with 10% of the royalties donated to local Newfoundland charities. Meet Topher at topherpike.com. Here is the interview with Topher Pike.
In your own words, who is Topher Pike?
That's a great question. Topher Pike is a writer. He's a father. He's a husband. Unlike a lot of your other guests, I don't have any fancy degrees or a big long list of accomplishments. No PhDs. The one thing I do have is I have a dream, and that's kind of what I'm focused on mostly during my day, and then that's how I can best describe Topher Pike.
I love that. You speak throughout your book, Change, 101 Quotes That Will Change Your Life. You write about dreams a lot. You use that word a lot. And this is one of my questions for you. What is the difference between dreams or dream, passion, vision, and purpose?
Well, I think they're all very similar. Before we actually get too far into it, what I would like to do is just give everyone a little background on me and my transformation over the last 4 years. I think that would give us a little bit of perspective on where I'm coming from. I'd say the last 2016, June 6, 2016, was a day that I was asked a question that kind of changed my perspective on life, and that question was who do I want to become? That was the one question that changed my perspective on life. During that time, I was doing fairly well. I was working a full-time job. I was making good money. I had a great relationship with my wife at the time. I was making about $70,000-$80,000 a year. I was doing very well, but something was just wrong. Something was missing in my life. And that day on June 6, 2016, that was a day that I was having a very down day, very depressed, felt very hopeless that day. And then and that's when that question was asked, and that's when I decided over the next 2 weeks, that's when I decided to answer the question, and the question was I wanted to become a writer. And before that, I never was. And fast forward 4 years from then, today it's quite a bit different. Not only I would love to say that I'm a best-selling author, but I'm not. I've only actually sold about less than 1,000 copies of my books, and I have a huge credit card debt. I don't own my own house anymore. I rent. Basically, my relationship with my wife isn't as good as it used to be. I can't afford a second car. I basically had my mom drive me to work some days, and as a 42-year-old man, that's very tough on my ego. And I work a 9-to-5 job where I sit in a cubicle, a 5x5 cubicle every day. Now, I don't say those things to you because I'm looking for sympathy, or I'm looking for I'm trying to be a victim. I want to tell you those things to give you a little perspective on when I tell you that I've never been happier in my life. At this moment in my life, I've never been happier, and that's why I want to give you a little perspective on that.
I love your authenticity and your honesty. That is a big part of what, to me, life is all about. Just being ourselves, being true to ourselves. And that's what you've been doing from what I hear.
And I think that's the biggest reason for my writing. I think my writing is there's a lot of vulnerability in it, and I think that's what I want to keep in this interview and in this podcast. I want to keep to that truth is my vulnerability. I find it's a tough thing to be vulnerable and to express yourself in a big forum like this. I've never really done many interviews. I normally express myself through my writing a lot, so this is definitely a different form for me. But I want to keep my writing and this form kind of in the same kind of vulnerable aspects.
You speak of an intense soul searching. My question is, are you spiritual in the sense of, do you practice spirituality, or what is the soul?
That's a great question. I'm not really sure I have the answer for you. Spiritually, I never used to be. Before 2016, when I made that transformation, personally, I didn't really believe in God or spiritual. I didn't go to church, or I didn't really believe in anything. I can't really say I was an atheist, but I didn't believe in anything. But today, I do believe in a higher power. I like to call it God, but you can call it whatever you want. A higher power, the universe. I like to choose the word God myself. I kind of believe God is not the way I was taught, but the way I'd like to describe God now is just an energy and a presence that lives all around us and also lives within us. And that's kind of what I describe the soul as, or God, or my inner voice. It's all kind of the same to me.
Yeah. Do you connect that God or the divine, whatever name we call to the higher power or higher self, do you connect that to love, unconditional love?
I do. I think love and God are very similar, pretty much the same thing if you really want to get down to it. I use meditation now in this day and age. I never used to do before, but I meditate daily and on those specific topics. And I do believe God is love. I do believe God is everything. There's nothing God is not.
I love that. True. So change. We use different words, shift. We also use transformation. So my question is, what are some of the greatest misunderstandings about change from your perspective?
I think the biggest one is change is hard. I think a lot of people kind of when they think about change, they really stop themselves because people are in a comfortable spot, and change is difficult. It really is. But if you really come from the perspective that change is inevitable, change is not so hard if you had that perspective on it. Everything is change. Everything in life changes. Your body changes. Your mind changes. Circumstances change. The universe changes. The world changes. It's inevitable, and you just have to be okay with it and accept it and actually embrace it. That's where you grow. And in my mind, growth is is the closest way you can get to who your highest self is, who your soul is, who God is. It's all about being able to grow every day, and that's one of my big purpose in life is being able to grow every day, and that's through my writing, through being a father, a husband, a brother. My biggest goal is to grow every day, and I think change is okay.
Yeah, so you embrace change. Yeah, it is a challenge for most of us to do, for sure, because the rejection, right, of what is, we tend to reject.
It is very true. I mean, it's the comfort thing for me. Even doing this interview with you today. I mean, it's a fear of mine. I have a fear of public speaking. Even though I'm a very confident guy, I do have a fear of public speaking, and even speaking in this forum. I really don't talk about my writing and my spirituality at all. I don't really have anyone in my life that I really talk to about spirituality, God, or even some things in my writing. But I think it's good to kind of go out of your comfort zone sometimes and embrace that change, and it's the only way you can grow. And if you're not growing, you're dying.
Oh wow! Would you say that not growing is the opposite of life?
Hard for me to say. I think it's very, very close. I think that is life. Life is growth. If you're in this life now, if you have the opportunity to be alive and be in this world today, I think you have an obligation to grow. I think you have an obligation to find out who you really are. I think you have an obligation to find out what your gifts are. I believe everybody's been placed with a gift inside of them. Some of those gifts are underdeveloped, but I do believe we have an obligation to find out what those things are, and I believe that's a part of growth and it's a part of change.
And speaking of gifts, unique gifts, and our purpose, how do we know when we have found our purpose?
Well, that's a great question, and finding passion and finding purpose, those are questions that people ask all the time, and there's been numerous books written about them. I've read a few myself. It's a great question, and it's a very, very hard question to answer. For me, passion is what you love to do. So for me, it's writing. For you, it could be starting a business. It could be being a good mother. It could be hundreds of different things. But passion is what you love to do. Now, for me, passion is one thing, but you have to be able to wrap a goal around that passion. So for me, it's selling 1 million copies of my books. It's a huge goal that I have that nobody thinks that I can do, but I do believe in myself. I do believe I can do that. But you do have to have a goal around your passion as well. So
passions, it could be our passions, but with a goal. So that would be the way to know that we have found a purpose in a way.
Well, I think even during this, in preparation for this interview today, I took the day off work and did some writing myself, and then thought about exactly why I'm so happy, and what the reasons are of over the last 4 years, what I've done, and the reasons why I am so happy in my current circumstances, why I am so happy in my day-to-day life. And I think I've come up with, in my mind today, just to kind of throw it around, but I have come up with about 4 pillars of happiness in my mind that I think that are very important for anybody looking for passion or purpose or any kind of growth or change. And those 4 are passion, purpose, progress, and persistence. And I believe you can kind of do them all. If you add them all up together, I think you can develop some level of happiness. And I can go through all 4 if you like.
Yeah, I would love that, Topher. Yeah, please.
For sure.
Yep.
So the first one I already kind of went through when it comes to passion. So being able to find out what you love to do. Now, I don't know what that is for you, and I'm sure if you really think about it, somebody out there listening, you might be able to find out what that is right away, and you might think of it right away. If not, then there are other things that you can do. Just try new things. Keep getting out there. Keep meeting new people, trying new things. If you still can't find anything, my best suggestion is to just be of service. Find a charity or be of service to some person or some organization. I think you might be able to find something there, and then wrapping a goal around it. You have to have something to strive for, and once you have that, you have to have a purpose for going after that goal. Why are you getting up in the morning? for me, my mission is to inspire other people to follow their passions and to discover a strength within themselves. I developed that mission statement for myself years ago, and I continue to strive for that. Now, on a side note to that, I have 2 young children, 6 years old and 3 years old. Now, my mission for them is the same thing. I know that when they grow up, there are going to be people that are going to come to them and they're going to tell them that their dreams aren't possible. They're going to tell them that they're not enough, and they're going to tell them that what they're looking to do is impossible. Now, for me, I want my kids to look at me as the example. Mm-hmm. So when someone tells them that it can't be done, I want my kids to look at me and say that I have done what I said I was going to do. I've sold 1 million copies, and I want them to see that as the example. That's the reason why I get up. You have to have a purpose. You have to have a purpose in life, and I think that purpose has to be wrapped around your passion. Now, once you have those 2 things, the next one would be progress, and progress is probably the most important thing. And for me, I think my morning routine is the pillar for me, is the foundation for everything I do. I get up at 3:30 every morning to write. The first thing I do when I get up, of course, is spend about 10 minutes in gratitude, and I'm sure you can appreciate that, like most people do. Yeah. And then I do it's my 2-hour rule. So whatever your passion is, whatever your purpose is, whatever your goal is to spend the first 2 hours every day doing that. So I spend the first 2 hours of my day writing, no matter what. Even if I don't feel like it, I sit in front of the computer, I type, I sit on my phone, I write, I grab a piece of paper and a pad, and I write for 2 hours, no matter what. There's no questions about it. I can't give myself an out. I have to do it. And then, and that's something I think every day. So no matter what I do, if I do that 2 hours every day, I will always have a book written within, say, 8 months. And I've kind of planned it out that way. So I'm always going to do it that way. And then I do meditation. I listen to audiobooks and I listen to music as well. So in the morning. So 4th one is persistence. And that's just faith in yourself and belief in yourself. If you're going after a big goal, you're going to get knocked down a bunch of times, and you're going to have days that you're really going to feel like you can't do it. And having persistence and faith in yourself and redefining what failure actually means is a very important one.
What is success to you? How do you define success?
Success to me is happiness. It's living on my own terms. As of right now, I'm going towards a goal of writing full time. That is my mission. That is my goal. I'm far away from it now, but that is my definition of success: is living on my own terms and being free on my own terms.
And freedom, that's another question I often ask. What is the meaning of freedom? We all seem to have different ideas.
It is. For me personally, freedom would be, like I say, living on my own terms and being able to write every day. The money for me is one thing. I mean, I do love money. I like to have it. It definitely makes life a lot easier for me, and I will find a way to reach the goals that I'm looking for money wise. But I think for me, being able to just write full time, spend time with my family. Not being able to worry about money and be financially free as well. So it's not just the writing and following your passion. I mean, money is important as well, and it all goes hand in hand with being free and being happy. Society is society, and we do need money to survive. So.
Money is not the main goal. It's not what makes you happy. It's not what success is or freedom is.
No, money is none of those things. It does help to have money because without it, it's you can't survive. But money is definitely not happiness. Happiness to me is those 4 pillars I think that I came up with today. So
yeah, I love that. And the foundation being purpose, right, with the goal, and keeping track of that. I love the gratitude and meditation components.
Yeah, it's funny. The meditation part for me, I've if someone told me that I'd be 4 years ago that I would get up at 3:30 in the morning, I would be meditating every day, I would have laughed at them, to be honest with you. But it's something I find grounds me very well. I've recently just been kind of looking at, and it's new to me, to be honest with you. It's sometimes for the first little while, I couldn't spend 5 minutes alone with my own thoughts. I'm up to about 20 minutes now a day. And then the meditations kind of vary. Sometimes I do affirmations. Other times I just sit in silence. There's different things I've tried, but I definitely enjoy it.
What do you think is the purpose of the human experience, to be here in a human body?
I think the purpose is growth. I'll come back to that one again. I think the purpose for the human experience is to grow and to experience who we truly are. And I think that is just awareness of our existence. I think to find yourself is to find your relationship with God. I mean, at whatever level you think that is, you have to get closer to that. That is the human experience, is to realize that it is an experience, and that's it.
You wrote the book, as I mentioned earlier, Change, 101 Quotes That Will Change Your Life. What was the intention of writing this book?
For me, I think, like I say, that day that I decided to change the direction of my life midstream. I was 37 years old at the time, and I decided that I wanted to become a writer. And at that time, I had no idea how I was going to do that. Mm-hmm. I knew I loved to write. But I had no idea about the publishing industry. I had no idea how to write a book, format a book. I didn't have any idea what I wanted to write. But I did have about 40 quotes that I had in my own head that I always used to kind of push me, keep me motivated in my day-to-day life. And actually, I wrote about it in my book, Blackbird, as well. My book, Blackbird, is the second book that I wrote. And basically, that kind of goes through my entire journey over the first 2 years. And kind of maps out exactly how I wrote that book, 101 Quotes. It's kind of like a memoir / kind of personal journey over the first 2 years of that journey for me. But the quotes themselves, I find they motivate me, and they help me stay grounded. They help me stay inspired. They help me stay closer to God. I didn't know it at the time when I was writing it, but I find that it definitely helps me stay connected and helps me stay inspired. And I think that is a very important thing, is to stay inspired, not motivated. Motivation comes and goes. Inspiration is what I'm seeking.
And in your book, so you have different parts. Find your purpose. This is the first one. So you have quotes in that. I like the way you have the quotes and then when to use them. That's different. So you have the first part, finding about purpose, and then fear, choose positivity, be grateful and give, and then dream big and believe. So the purpose, we have been talking about purpose a lot, but I did highlight some of the quotes here that I absolutely love. You say, life can be everything you imagine if you believe in yourself. So my question is, for you, that is an understanding, a moment of understanding in time, or a practice for life?
When I wrote that quote, I think it was me searching for something. I think it was at the time I wrote that book. I wrote it over a span of about 5 months, and it basically was me at the beginning of my journey, trying to find out exactly who I was, what I wanted to become. How I was going to get there, and a lot of those quotes kind of came from that. But I do believe it wholeheartedly that if you believe in yourself, anything's possible. And I believe, not only believe in yourself, but believe in the vision you have put forth. Believe that no matter what, there is a guiding force that is guiding you towards whatever dream and passion that you have. You just got to listen a little harder. I think a lot of times people have so much noise around them every day that they can't hear that voice inside of them that is giving them the right direction. A voice, you can call that voice God, I do, but you can call it whatever you want. It makes no difference to me, as long as you listen.
Yeah, some call intuition. You're listening to the inner voice, right?
Intuition is a great explanation for it, and it's not easy to tap into. To be honest with you, I find meditation is a good way for me now to try to tap into that a little bit more than I had before. Before it was just a gut feeling, they call it. I call it a gut feeling. I used to. Now I call it intuition. But I find through meditation, I'm getting a lot closer to it, which is very cool.
Do you also use the word mindfulness, or they are the same?
Mindfulness and meditation, I find, are a little bit different. Meditation for me is just kind of going to God in silence. Mindfulness for me is just kind of taking my mind off the hustle and bustle of the day, and just being mindful of my thoughts and awareness. I find mindfulness and awareness kind of goes together for me, because I find I'm always trying to be aware of my emotions and my feelings on a day-to-day basis, so I don't get too overwhelmed with them, because I find thoughts and come and go, and you really have to be aware of what thoughts you have and what emotions you're holding. So.
And do you believe in unconditional self-love, Topher?
I do. Self-love is the most important thing that you can give yourself. Most people hate themselves, to be honest with you. They can't stand to be around themselves. They would never look in the mirror and tell themselves they love themselves, which is probably the most important thing that you can do, to give yourself a little bit of self-love and self-care. Self-talk is a great way, I find, to give yourself a little bit of self-love as well. Is say things about yourself and say things to yourself that are positive. I think that's a thing that a lot of people miss out on.
Why do you think that? Why do so many of us don't even like ourselves?
It's a tough question. I think a lot of it has to do with experiences that we probably don't even remember from our past. Things that people told us about ourselves that we tend to believe. Things that we probably heard about ourselves, or things that people said about us when we were younger, that all of a sudden are deep inside that we have no idea that are even there. Yeah. Just society in general has a lot of things they kind of put into our heads, and I think that's where I think meditation for me comes into play, is trying to get out of that a little bit, and trying to just trying to be a bit more free of that type of stuff.
And that makes me think about inner peace, or this idea of peace when we have finally accepted ourselves fully. And we are actively practicing self-love, then it's inner peace arises. And maybe that's what most people, they also search in meditation. That's what they find, that peace, calm.
It is. It is that calmness, that peace, and it is that happiness too. And I believe it's all a choice. It's happiness is a choice. I mean, your level of peace, your level of calm, it's all a choice. When you all boil down to it, there are things that you can do to help you elevate that and help you get there. But ultimately, it is a choice.
There's one of your quotes that I have here that says, "If you think that life is not worth living, create a new life." I absolutely love this quote, because it's true.
That kind of goes back to exactly where I was, kind of when I kind of made that switch. Is on the outside, my life looked pretty good, but there was something wrong on the inside that I needed to fix. If I wasn't fulfilled, I wasn't happy. There was something inside that I needed to fix, and that's where that kind of quote came from. Is, if you're not happy with your life, then just create a new one. There's no one stopping you. There's nothing stopping you from quitting your job and going to find a job that you love. There's nothing stopping you from writing a book. There's nothing stopping you from starting a business or writing a song. There's nobody stopping you but yourself. And I think people just got to tap into that a little bit more, and just know that anything is possible. And if you want to create something, just go create it. Don't worry about what people think. It's your vision. Right. It's something that was given to you. Go create it and see what happens. I guarantee you'll be happier.
Yeah, that takes courage, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah. There's trust involved too. Would you say more trust in yourself or trust in God?
That is the same thing, in my opinion.
I love that.
I think trusting God and trusting yourself are two the same things. Now, I believe my relationship with God is a partnership. I mean, there's things that I have to do, and then I have to trust as well. And that's something that I'm trying to get better at. Sometimes I like to take the bull by the horns and kind of go at things, but I'm learning over the last few years and through my meditations that sometimes I just do have to let it go and just let God handle His thing as well.
You say darkness is not the absence of light; it is the absence of a purpose.
Darkness is it could be, you could call that depression. You can call that a lot of different things, but I do believe it's not having a purpose is tough. not having a reason to get up in the mornings. Like I say, I struggle every day too. I mean, there's days that I struggle. There's no doubt about that. There's days that I don't believe that I'm going to reach my goals. I don't believe I'm going to get where I need to be. There's days I struggle, but I know that my purpose, my why I get up in the morning, to be that example for my kids, that purpose, that's what gets me up in the morning. And I think people need to have more of a purpose on why they get up and why they do what they do. And I think people have to spend a little time in not in only meditation, but spend time in contemplation on what that means to them.
You are becoming this reference to your children by being yourself, because the only way we can teach anyway, from my perspective.
It is. I mean, I can tell my kids a lot of different things, and I can show them different ways they can be. But what they're going to see my example. They're going to see what I'm doing. Yeah. So my daughter is going to see me getting up at 3:30 in the morning. She already sees me meditating. She sees me going after my dream. She tells people all the time. One thing I always told her as she was growing up was practice equals progress, and progress equals happiness. And she would always have people in her teachers and people in some of her classes would always say practice makes perfection, or practice equals perfect, right? But she would always correct them, which I thought was pretty cool. So
we're almost at the end, but I have so many quotes here of yours that I really like.
You're going to have a lot more coming soon. So.
I love this one too. Under choose positivity, you say darkness surrounds your life, and so does happiness. You choose. So it goes back to choice, that we have the choice.
It is, and that is the ultimate lesson that I would like for anyone to take out of this conversation is choice, free choice. Free choice is a gift from God. And it is something that we have to embrace a little bit more, because everything is a choice. Happiness is a choice. What you do in the morning is a choice. How you treat your kids, your wife, how you treat a stranger, it's all a choice. And if we can wrap our head around that and know that we are in control, there's nothing that you can't, like, if you can't control it, then don't worry about it. But there are things that you can control. And those are the things that you need to be focused on.
We're almost at the end. I do have a few more questions for you, the ending questions. But before that, I'd like to read this quote too that you have here. You say, the difference in hope and belief is how you choose to see your future. Live in a future that already exists. This is very powerful and very true to me. And thank you for writing that.
Live in a future that already exists is something that is near and dear to me, because I tend to live in that future every day. I try to anyway. So it's something I try to do in my not only my meditations, my visualizations, but in my day-to-day life. I try to live the life of a best-selling author as much as I can. And some days are a little bit tough, and because I gotta pay my bills like everybody else. I gotta punch my clock at my 9 to 5 like everybody else. But in between those things, I try to keep my vision strong, and I try to live in that future as much as I can.
I think this is something that a lot of people talk under the idea and concept of the law of attraction. The Secret, that movie, was all about feeling what you want, just being there already. This is exactly what you talk about here.
It is. The feeling side of it is very important, and there's other books kind of written that talk about the feeling as well. Neville Goddard is another one that I've listened to, I've read. But you also have to back it up with some action too. Being able to feel you're in that state of mind, and feel that happiness, and feel that love, and feel that joy of being whatever you want to be. But then you got to get up and you got to grind, and you got to hit the streets, and you got to do what you got to do. I want to be an international best-selling author with over 1 million copies sold. That is my dream. But I need books. I need to write, and then I need to get words on paper.
Would you like to add anything, Topher, or read one or two of your quotes?
No, I wouldn't like my quotes are there for anyone to read. But what I would like to back up on what you were saying just then about inspiring authors. Anybody out there that is looking to publish or looking to write their own book, feel free to reach out to me. I'm an open book. Just info@topherpike.com. Hit me up on Instagram are the two best ways to get me. I don't have any courses or anything like that I'm trying to sell. But if you are looking for a little bit of help, I have published 3 books and I'm about to publish my 4th one, and I do it all myself. And I have a lot of tips and tools and advice that might help if you are looking to write a book or you got some thoughts that you might want to get out there. That's all.
So 2 questions left. If you knew you would die soon, meaning losing the body, would you make any change in your life or do anything in a different way?
I would live exactly the same way I'm living right now.
Wow. No change.
No change. If there was something I would change, I would do it now. But I am living the best life I can live, and that's all I can ask from myself. I'm trying to be the best version of myself every day. Every day I get out of bed, my main goal is to be the best version of me, and that's all I'm doing. I'm not perfect. I definitely make some mistakes, but that is my goal. That is another purpose of mine is to become the best version of myself. And I believe if I can do that, the rest will take care of itself.
What are 3 things about life you know for sure as of this moment?
3 things I know for sure. That's a great question. That I'm enough, that I have faith, and that I believe in myself.
Thank you so much, Topher, for your wisdom, your presence, your purpose, your dreams, your vision, your work. Thank you.
I can say the same to you.
Where can we find more information about you, your books, products, services, and future projects?
So if you're looking for anything, any books or any way to get a hold of me, just visit topherpike.com. And that I have all my links and everything there. You can reach out to me. Instagram is about the one social media platform I do play around with a little bit. So you can definitely DM me there, and I'll get back to you. No problem.
Wonderful. Thank you so much again, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you for your time.
Bye for now, Topher.
Thank you for listening. To learn more about Topher Pike and his work, please visit topherpike.com.
To learn more about this podcast, please visit fitforjoy.org/podcast. Thank you again for listening, and bye for now.